This segment brought to you by Etherington and Vuckets.
Visit us on the web at listenuptv.com. We've posted exclusives and links to top faith stories from around the globe. Read our blogs, post your comments, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. That's listenuptv.com. Welcome back. We're looking at the plight of the urban poor and what's being done to help them. Controversy has occurred over whether or not faith groups should get government help for being part of the recovery. The Canadian government sends millions of tax dollars a year to the Salvation Army to do the job of poverty care. Along with the labor, beds, programs, training, education, and food they provide, they also work on our attitudes.
Essentially, the middle class has moved out of the downtown areas, left those areas to the poor, I mean, we're talking generalizations, etc., and moved into the new tract housing in the suburbs. And they took their churches with them, okay? And what they effectively said was, we no longer want to live in these areas with these people. We don't want our kids to go to school with their kids. We don't want to shop where they shop. We don't want to do church with them. We don't want to create community. We want to share life. Our real life will be out here now with people just like us.
But not for Major Ryan. Real life is programs that help and a church that teaches right in the community center of Regent Park. He's part of a movement to have the church model the peace of living out different values.
The values can often be very destructive. You know, there's a disconnect between action and consequence, and they have values of the present, where the past is a bad place, because that's where Dad left home, or you got hooked on drugs, or you got in trouble with the law. So the past is a bad place you don't want to go back to, and it's always haunting you. The future is a foreign land you'll never visit. That's why no one here has RRSPs. You don't plan for the future. So all you're left with is the present, which is why, you know, most of the kids walking around here have $700 worth of clothing on their back, because they're going to wear FUBU, Fat Farm, $200 Nike, even though they live in housing, because you have to look good at the present. You don't plan for the future. Those are very destructive values. So the role of the gospel and the transformation is to kind of slowly change those into healthy values.
The idea of sharing life, of caring for the needs of the poor in community, is a new wave of church work. Across North America, a movement has begun to cross the social leap between rich and poor by living together in the same neighborhoods.
Throughout Scripture, God continually calls those who are wealthy and powerful to care for those who are poor and weak. And I don't think it's just out of a sense of responsibility. I think it really is because poor people and wealthy people need each other. Mm-hmm. And that when we live our lives together, we discover a richness, if you like, if I can use a pun about it, that's not available in other ways.
Greg is founder of Sanctuary Ministries in Toronto. Church here is also a drop-in center, a health clinic, an employment center.
The challenge for us then as people of wealth and power is to say, I need to move out of my sense of entitlement. I need to move out of this sense that I have what I have because of some inherent value and worth in myself. And I need to move into the place where I connect with people who I wouldn't otherwise care to connect with, because they cannot choose to come and connect with me.
My hope is that our communities will become kingdom communities.
Colin McCartney provides places for inner city children after school. Tutoring, Bible studies, healthy snacks, and recreation are the order of the day.
As a Christian, I think the answer that we are called to do is to show up. And as we show up into these communities, God will reveal the answers to the specific needs in the community. For example, when we go into a community like this community, if we go in with our notepads empty, we don't have an agenda, we just go in and listen. We go in and love the people. In time, God will reveal to us the needs and the solutions to those needs. And I'll tell you this, most of the solutions to the needs are found right here in the community and with the people here in the community. A lot of good people live here, and they want to change their community.
The other end of the country in Vancouver's notorious downtown east side, Joyce Reese has experienced the same thing.
We're going to be faithful to it and practice a real demonstration of the love of God and a shared life as best as we know how. So We think that the kingdom calls us to that. Jesus was a friend of sinners. He sat at the table and ate with people that were marginalized and rejected by the culture. And there's specific, very specific bits of scripture that it seemed to indicate to us that you're to go to the ones who are on the outside. So we're just trying to figure out how to do that, and we don't have it all figured out yet. We're learning.
It means, how do I sleep in a house that has heat when my neighbor's sleeping beside their oven, to stay warm? And how do we reconcile these things? So we try to open up our home and wrestle with that,
Thinking that comes from the one command that was meant to brand Christianity: love one another.
And really, I think that command is the most radical thing in the world. If we really believe, what does it mean to love our neighbor as ourselves in this global neighborhood where we've got a human family that's tragically dysfunctional, to really think about those as sisters and brothers and consider what that means for us.
When Listen Up returns, 77% of Canadians say that in a recession, it's more important than ever to make it a priority to help the poor.